what had to happen in order for that playing field to be leveled. The women have to come to a male dominated platform in order to receive equal treatment. Because once we step away from it, it's not even social media, it's just YouTube. Because once we step outside of YouTube, the rest of social media is female dominated. And men, if they do any kind of like critiquing of, anything women related, no, you're gonna get bombarded with cancer culture. Welcome back, guys. Mike here, Money, Marriage, and Media, and we are back with the Lapeef Network. But we're also back trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, you turn your notifications on so we know when the new content is out. Speaking of new content, we're with the show called The Solution. The channel is Lapeef JR. Or, no, I'm sorry, the channel is The Lapeef Experience. Let me get that right. All right. The topic is, why can't men have their thoughts without women trying to control how they speak? Now, this has the potential to turn into the gender war. It does. If the women take offense to the question, that's generally where it goes. What we are looking for is high level conversation, right? It's the exact opposite. Why? Because the gender war is dumb, right? We need high level conversation so we can start moving past these issues where we're just butting heads and we can actually start to build again. So let's go ahead and jump in the video, see what we got.
Jump in here and say something about the ladies tonight. All beautiful ladies, and I mean this genuinely. But why do women try to control the conversation? We tell men we shouldn't care about beauty. We shouldn't care about makeup. If we're going to ask questions, we got to ask it a certain kind of way. Why can't we just let men have their thoughts and express them the way that they feel or the way that they want to without trying to control how men speak?
Okay, there's a couple of reasons for this. The first one is that in order to balance the scales, right? This is a very what do you call it, hindbrain conversation or hindbrain talking point. Is that as men and women, we both know that men are physically stronger than women. So one of the superpowers of women, if you want to call it that, is social calibration, right? Women are better at conversations, are better at communicating than men are. All right. It doesn't mean that men suck at it. We just do it differently. But most cases, women are more the ones who are more likely to adapt to different types of conversation. Right. So that becomes a tool to balance the scales with being with a man who is physically or being compared to men who are physically stronger. So a lot of times they'll control the narrative in the conversations because, well, they're the weaker sex, right? The other thing that could be going on is that you may be dealing with the imbalance of value. So, and this is where the manipulation part comes in. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this because I don't think they're going to talk about this. But if a woman feels that her man's value is higher than hers, again, we start having an insecurity conversation, right? Then a lot of times she's going to try and manipulate him into doing what she wants because she feels that there's a chance that he just may drop her and leave her with nothing. So I have to control the narrative. I got to control the way the things that we're talking about, because if I don't, he's just going to leave. That's all I'm gonna say about it right now. If they bring it up, then we'll explore a little bit more, but I don't think they're going to go there just because that's a really deep conversation.
I'll answer that question because I think that's a fantastic question.
It is.
The
It's a good
honest truth
question.
is that women don't have that same luxury. That when I was talking about earlier about men selling the dream, it became really critical about why do y'all let yourselves get into that? Why aren't you vetting the way you're supposed to? Why aren't you looking at men and their nature?
As a Okay, I missed that part of the conversation. This is the downside of doing clips, right? Is that you don't get the whole conversation. But as far as a vetting standpoint, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. We're never going to be. You can never expect women to do a great job with vetting men because women have never been good at that. This is why you should be going to your father to vet the man that you're going to marry. Because men, we do a great job of vetting each other. Why? Because we don't care how fine he is or how tall he is. Does he have husband qualities? Is he a husband? Yeah, let's sum it up with there. Let's go.
And then when men talk about women in makeup, it's take it or leave it, right? And so when that criticism is then turned around, it becomes, well, why can't we speak freely? So I think it's one of those double-edged swords where either everybody's open to criticism or nobody's open to criticism, and we need
Well,
to be honest about where we stand on that conversation.
see
Sir
now
Hill,
that
Sir Hill, don't get me wrong. The only reason I said I didn't want Bruiser saying y'all is because I've been agreeing with most of the men's points, but he's been grouping me in saying y'all. I'm not. I would never tell anyone how to speak.
Okay, we're gonna skip this part because I think she's about to go into the whole diatribe about not all I'm different, and yeah, once you've heard that a couple times on a podcast, it just yeah.
Have made on different topics like the dream. I believe that women sell themselves dreams. So I didn't speak on that. I've just been remaining quiet, sitting here.
hey Casey, I just want to put this out there, and I know this is your first time on the panel, and we often have these conversations about. I think when people talk, they may say you or y'all, but it's not about anybody that's on the panel. They're
Yeah.
just speaking-
There,
they're speaking
there we
in
go.
general,
Yep.
Speaking,
See.
but it needs to be.
That's the
Skip.
only time I decided to say
Okay.
something. Yeah. Not
And
all the other stuff.
Hey, sorry, go ahead, Trina.
Okay.
I just want to kind of like close it off because I think I can appreciate Bruiser's point of view because a lot of men think that way, like the way he speaks, the way he, what his perspective. A lot of men think that way. So like, it's good to know that hey, you know what, there are men out there, but there's also men like Trigger Mike, Sir Hales, because they all three of the men don't like and Jr. Like you guys have different perspectives. So it's good to know there's the types of men that we have.
Look, I want to address that. And the reason I want to get into this is because women assume that men think like women. So women are all over the place. Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different skin color. Everybody's a different person. Everybody has a different set of DNA. Everything is just different. Men think more in terms of groups. If you have 4 out of 10 things that are like somebody, you're in this group. If you got 6 out of those 10, you're like this. We think in generality. So when
Yeah.
we're talking, we don't have the time to pinpoint every simple, difference, right? We speak in generalities. And I think that women should understand that that's how men communicate. So when we say things, we're speaking from that general perspective that we see this a lot among women. And that's not to say that there are women who think differently. It's just to say that there's a commonality that all women have. And whether you guys disagree with that or not, all of the women on this panel do have some similarities. And I think that's what we speak to a lot in these kind of conversations.
That was well said. Guys, I'm not familiar with Sir Hale. That's his name. Guys, if you watch Sir Hale, leave a comment. Is that somebody that I need to be checking out? Because he sounded intelligent. So if they having high level conversations on this channel, let me know. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we have similarities. We all have differences, but I think what men are like, what Bruiser and like you said, men are logical, right? So yeah, I think that's why you guys grew.
You want to talk about trying to control how they speak? Exactly. Is she just trying to have the last word right now? Because, like I said, he was very intelligent and very well said about what he spoke was very well said. So, exactly what is she talking about right now? That is, it seems like she's just agreeing and just to have the last word. I don't know. I might be. Y'all, please let me know if I'm tripping, because I know the comment section always does that. They let me know if I'm tripping, if I miss something. So yeah, am I missing something? It just seems like she's just trying to have the last word.
Group women together, and that's when we always clash heads. Like we can't have like a decent conversation without saying, "Oh, he said, she said," or "Who's right, who's wrong," like all the time. So where do we come to a common ground? Be like, hey, you know what? We have perspectives. People are not going to be the same. This man could be totally different from the other one. That's how I think, at least. And I'm sure all the women in the panel think that way as well. We don't really say, oh, all men are the same. You guys are all dogs. Because I know I heard that before, but from younger girls, not women that I know. And these are not, we have to understand there's women who are like decent women who are not so decent, right? So we can't generalize them.
Well,
And I think
here's
that's
the reason why I do it. I want it to hit home. I want it to trigger you because every panel I get on, and it's just funny, it's just strange. Every panel I get on in any channel, all of the women that participate in the panel, it's always the part of the minority for some freaking convenient reason.
Yeah.
Every single lady that come on any panel on any talk show, they're always somehow a part of the minority and never about the women we're talking about. And you know why I do it? Because I don't buy that. I'm not convinced of that. And I know you're out there. I'm not going to single you out. I'm not going to call your name. I'm just going to say things that's going to trigger you. And whenever it trigger you, a hit dog holler. It's no way in hell every woman on this panel, on every Lapeef freaking talk show, my panel, freaking it's no way in hell every woman is part of the minority and the woman is
They're always the exception to the rule. It's amazing how that always works out, right? But on one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, you can't expect people to just go in on these topics and then talk about their personal lives. I mean, have we seen women admit to that stuff? Yeah, but that's not normal. I don't recommend it either, because you gonna sit there and put your business out there in the internet. That's not a good move, especially if you're single. And well, no, it's just not a good move in general. Because if you're single, then you're gonna dox yourself from future relationships. That's not good, or future marriages. And if you're married, you're gonna put your business out there. Now, if you and your spouse, you and your husband or wife have a channel and y'all talk about those things together, that's different. Okay, but you on one of these panels and you just start talking about, the ins and outs of your marriage. It's like, okay, whoa. Marriage is supposed to be sacred. Now, if you and your wife don't have a problem, maybe y'all work that out in advance, but I don't think most people had that kind of conversation. You should, though, because media training. That's why y'all never see my wife on here. We had that talk. Let's go.
is an exception from what we're talking about. It's no way impossible. It's too many women that come in these spaces. So I don't buy it.
Go ahead, Carson. Are you trying to get in there?
Dude, was it? She shaking her head, no. But you know what though? That's whoa. Let's see what we got here. What we got going on here.
Carson,
I don't even remember what we're talking about. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Like we've gone so far, we got into love and everybody's particulars of things. I don't even know what we're talking about. I thought we were talking about trust, and I don't know where they are because
trust is more important. Trust is more important than love.
Yeah, to me, trust is more important, and I can't love you if I don't trust you.
Blinked out. Okay.
Trust deep.
I know she'll be back.
Trigger Mike was trying to get into.
Go ahead, Trigger Mike.
Oh, dang. Well,
no soliloquies, man. No soliloquy.
Man, get out of here. You just had 5 soliloquies in a row. Talk about soliloquy. Spell it. Anyway. All right. But no, I was gonna respond to I think what Sir Hale said to.
Okay.
And then Inez responded where Inez said men have. I'm sorry. Can you restate? You said women don't have the luxury of finishing their, stating things plainly, or
their point of views are not criticized, or I think Sir Hill asked the question of why do women criticize when men are just simply explaining their point of view. And what I was saying is that women are not afforded the same luxury when they're simply giving their point of view. It always is returned with criticism.
Yeah, I think that's definitely untrue. I think in the manosphere space, maybe that might be true, but you also got to remember these are male-dominated spaces. I'm still trying to find out how so many women became a part of the manosphere, but here everyone is, right? So in this space, of course, you can't. You got to jock for elbow room, or we have to create space for you. But in the greater world out there, that is exactly what's going on. Men get criticized and lambasted for any criticism we have of women, and you even have government help for men not to criticize you. right? Like it's in doctrine, it's in law for people not to say things. You'll get fired from jobs for insinuating things about women. Like you see,
You can get kicked off of social media. They'll shut down your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, your payment systems, even your Uber account. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That guy, that rich guy that lives in Europe. I'm not gonna say his name because look. This is a new channel over here. We can't afford to get shadow banned. Just saying, yeah. So but y'all know who I'm talking about. Andrew. Yeah. But let's keep going.
you know what I'm saying? So as just the current times, I think that's completely untrue. Men are the ones who have to be careful and tiptoe around women in the workplace. We can't say things or it'll become sexual
Well, let's finish it out.
harassment and all of that. So yeah, women have free reign to say whatever they want without consequence.
You know what? Trigger Mike actually speaks to a greater point here, is that a lot of times if you're watching YouTube a lot of, particularly you watching this manosphere, a lot of this content, you can get caught up in the hype. And what I mean by that is this is what we talk about when we talk about YouTube talking points, right? A lot of this stuff does not, some of it does not apply in real life. Yeah, it makes for interesting conversations on the internet and on these panels, but excuse me, a lot of times these things don't line up with real life. This is one of those talking points where Inez was talking about how, women get ridiculed for their opinion. Yeah, when there's equal playing, when the playing field is equalized, yes, because women do the same thing to men. But understand what had to happen in order for that playing field to be leveled. The women have to come to a male-dominated platform in order to receive equal treatment. Because once we step away from it, it's not even social media, it's just YouTube. Because once we step outside of YouTube, the rest of social media is female-dominated. And men, if they do any kind of critiquing of, anything women related, no, you're gonna get bombarded with cancer culture. It's just the way it is. But that's why I said this is why again why I'm not on our this is why I mainly focus on making YouTube content, because it is a male dominated platform, and a lot of times you will find channels like the Lapeef Experience where women are allowed to come in and we can have a good back and forth, a good dialogue. I just did a consultation with another YouTuber who is, and brother was helping me out with some stuff, with some YouTube's analytics and stuff. But we started having a conversation about, what we need. And one of the things that's needed in our community is we have to have a platform where we can have a back and forth conversation. This is why I always say the gender war is dumb, because all it is a bunch of arguing about things, when reality is we still need each other. The gender war is not going to get us anywhere, but at odds with each other. But again, if we still need each other, what's the point of it? There's not one. It's just dumb. So, you got to figure out what it is that you're looking for out here, and then go after that. And you make sure that you're bringing enough value so that you can actually maintain that relationship. Now, notice I didn't preface that by saying men or women. It doesn't matter. It applies to both genders. But look, guys, high level conversation again. I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.